Feed me more Mackhams.
Hello, welcome to another edition of Football Origin Stories. Here I am outside Newcastle United, who haven't won a trophy since 1969. Here I am outside the Sports Direct Arena. Here I am outside St James's Park. They last won the First Division, or Premier League for anyone who still has their teeth. So, not including anyone from Sunderland then. In 1927, and their last FA Cup win came in 1955. I won't even touch on the Intertotal Cup, which honest to God looked like something you get out of a goddamn cereal box. The 90s was a golden era for the club, with Kevin Keegan bringing together the entertainers. But just like a Mormon on his wedding night, they crumbled under pressure. Ruud Gullit arrived in 1998, but it didn't go well. Sir Bobby Robson came in, the club kept finishing in the top four and even had a European adventure.
But I scored at the new camp.
Yeah, alright, Charlie, you also have the first touch of a one-legged duck. But it soon turned sour, with the club sacking Sir Bobby Robson for finishing fifth. As an example of the club's standards falling off a cliff, when Alan Pardew did that, he was given the Manager of the Year award. It's a bit like being dumped after putting on a bit of holiday weight, and then after 8 years, you're swiping right on a 20-stone plumber named Sheila. Oh god, that's my future, isn't it? The next few years were bleak. Let's hear from some Newcastle fans.
It's been shit.
See, the defence parted with all the regularity of the legs of a Love Island contestant. Their most promising talent was a fictional creation of Buena Vista Pictures, and as far as team morale went... Pass me the fucking ball!
No, you're fucking shit!
King Kevin Keegan returned in 2008, although things turned sour once he realised that the transfer duties rested on the footballing genius that was Dennis Wise.
Hey Mike, how do you spell Gonzalez?
Keegan, who nearly won league titles in the 90s, grew tired of the constant games he was forced to play with the board, seemingly allergic to spending any bit of money. Modric was another one who was turned away because who needs him when you've got Jeremy and Nicky Butt anchoring the midfield? Unsurprisingly, Keegan made like my dad and walked out, vowing never to return. At least Keegan didn't say he was popping up to the shops for a pint of milk. I've had this ball of cereal since 1999, Dad. It's as stale as a nun's vagina. Soon, Joe Kinnear was drafted in.
Fuck off, you fucking you fucking young kebab.
Things didn't really improve under Kinnear, doing his very best to alienate and annoy near on every member of the goddamn first team.
I thought we played very well. I thought the lads did alright. It was a good game. I thought the left winger did well. Charles and Insomnia, I thought he played very well.
This was it, the final nail in the coffin. How could the proud Charles Nzogbia, of exactly 0 caps and trophies, listen to this old man dare to pronounce a foreign name? This ultimate act of betrayal had forced the young man's hand.
I want to play Champions League football. Arsenal, Lyon, maybe even Real Madrid. Am I a joke to you?
It was quite ironic that Kinnear had christened his winger Insomnia because Newcastle were sleepwalking their way to relegation. By May, Alan Shearer was manager, the club were in the bottom 3 and the commitment just wasn't really there. 2 weeks later, Newcastle were absolutely fuming at the betrayal of their record signing. Owen, on the other hand, I can't believe they're paying me this much! Life in the Championship was no picnic, especially considering the fans were subjected to one of the worst football jerseys known to man.
You have to see! No! You have to see! No!
But they bounced back, beat Sunderland 5-1 in the derby, and Chris Hughton was rewarded for his good efforts with his P45, with the club handing the reins of power to Alan Pardew, who was given the Manager of the Year award for something that was once considered a sackable offence. The next few years marked an upturn in fortunes. There was even a return to Europe, but as always, controversy was never far around the corner. Well, lads, club captain Fabrizio Colacini was fond of pouring his heart out in long, meaningful letters to results began to suffer, with most wanting party out, with some even setting up a website. That guy spent the last 2 years showering with his arse against the wall. Once Pardew left, the club were left in the hands of John Carver, which is a bit like giving your toddler the keys to your goddamn convertible.
Oh wait, man, I'm the f***ing best manager in the Premier League!
There was an emotional story with Jonas Gutierrez saving the day on the final day of the season, having battled back from testicular cancer, and it's a way of saying thank you. The club dumped him by phone 2 weeks later. They were relegated the next season under Steve McLaren, although he wasn't helped by some supposed star players refusing to pull the finger out, like Gini Wijnaldum, who seemed to have a chronic fear of going away from home. Somehow Rafa Benitez has been convinced to join, swapping Ronaldo for Bristol away, and even steered them to the championship title, with a little help from a goal from a certain Jack Grealish.
I can't wait to play for f***ing England.
Rio Ferdinand is not exactly a popular man in Newcastle.
He wants to sell the club. Why should he go and spend millions and millions of pounds? Like Coley said before, he spent £30 million on a striker, £30 million on a midfielder as he's trying to sell the club, and both of them get injured. £60 million down the drain. Would you do that?
At the moment, the club is on its last legs, as Rafa Benitez is forced to rummage in the local food banks for players of any substance. And when he dares to ask, "Please sir, can I have some more?" he gets sneered at by the likes of Richard Keys, a man who was sentenced to Qatar for crimes against chivalry. They do have some decent players though, like Solomon Rondon, Martin Dubravka, and even Matt Ritchie.
Why the fuck did I leave Bournemouth?
The fans are now at their wits' end and have taken to protesting outside the ground, boycotting his shops and screaming at his merch. So where will Newcastle be in a few years? Will they finally have new ownership, challenging for silverware, or even, God forbid, making it past the 5th round of the goddamn cup? Or will Ashley stay, Rafa leave, and within a year we'll be watching their own Netflix special of torment and misery? We'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, that's the end of the video, lads. If you want more football skits on this channel, smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe to Ford of Mercy, links to his socials in the description below. Big thanks to him for helping me out with this, and also preventing me from pulling an Antoine Griezmann. Hello and welcome to another edition of Football Origin Stories. Here I am outside Newcastle United, who haven't won a trophy since 1869. Shit, sorry.
I will punch you that hard.
Ah, 2-footed.
Ow. Well, lads!
You got my arm, you